Today marks 1720th day of the lessons, day reflections. And today I speak about a very interesting topic, and it might be that I will find myself sometimes looking for what to say because this is such a thing that I totally reflected on, and I think that it's a great thing to really start speaking about, and that is about discernment and bitterness. Now, discernment is a lot of times used in faith, discern the truths from lies, but today I'll use that word discernment in really choosing what's right and what's not right for you. And that discernment is extremely important because bitterness is that looking in how to protect yourself and building walls around yourself. And that is bitterness. And that means that if you build walls around yourself, that means that you will not allow anyone to come in, but not allow anyone to come out. But that is a very lonely way to live. But we're looking at this discernment. Discernment is such a place where you really look into your life, you look into your heart, you look into your mind, and you say that like, who I allow in, who I allow someone else to influence me, who allow inputs to be, who I allow my heart to start care about, and why. What is the evidence of those people? Not what they say, but what they do, what they show. And I think that really being able to discern what people truly are, I think that's extremely important because sometimes you can be naive and listening about the beautiful honey way of speaking and say, oh, I love the way how they speak and I will allow them to influence my life. But that's not the way how is the best way to live. Discernment is extremely important. And I will share seven or six probably truths that we need to really consider when our life was not where it's supposed to be. And again, maybe betrayed, maybe grief, maybe there's so many things that we. But today is most likely focused on our mistakes because a lot of things could come to us that is not our fault but our responsibility. But today is our fault, our choices that led into the wrong directions because we did not have discernment. We didn't know how to discern people, how to reflect on what is truth, what is lies. And I think that at that moment we allow people who are not supposed to be there. So number one, that the event isn't hurting you anymore. The attachment to what should have been is. Attachment to what should have been. Such an interesting thing. It's like this is how it's supposed to be, but it's not. And I think that just that attachment is negotiating with reality. And really sometimes we can really not bury the future that could not exist. It's like this is what's supposed to be, but it's not. It will never be. Potentially, maybe it will be. Maybe you need to wait, but this is not maybe with this path that you had. Because today I speak about mistakes that we really went to the path that was wrong. Maybe with relations, maybe with business, maybe there's something else that we really choose the wrong path because we didn't know how to discern the right partners, business partners, or good relationship partners, and we went the wrong direction. And now we said I should be, by this age I should be here, here, and here, here, and here, and here, but I'm not. And attachment to that, it's really creates a lot of suffering for no reason. And being able to really say that the event doesn't hurt anymore, and I not need to be attached to all possibilities that it would be. And it's an interesting thing because so that if you actually went to the to the right direction at that moment when you're supposed to, and maybe the buzz would hit you, and then you had lived a very short life, and now you experienced, you have more wisdom, more understanding, potentially more discernment, and because you have more discernment now, the future looks brighter because of that. You never know how things would be. So going in that direction and thinking, even though it's very easy and it's a very attractive way to live and look into all possibilities, that is not the right thing to do. Number two, betrayal doesn't only break trust in one another person. It breaks trust in your own judgment. And this is a big thing. So it means when you really have a business partner, you have a or significant other, and he betrayed your trust in different ways. Now it could be like cheating, but that I don't speak just about this one. I speak about any kind of betrayal because sometimes we can't really consider betrayals on the value perspective, on anything. And I think that at that moment we're able to look into okay that maybe I just didn't know how to choose because I found myself that I used to believe that I'm very good at making decisions. But when I made some choices that really led the wrong direction, I like start to ask like maybe I'm not who I used to think, and maybe it's partly, but maybe I just start to question my own judgment even more than actually supposed to. Maybe I am decent at it, not great, but decent at it, not terrible. Again, we start to question our own judgment, and that's a place, something that's a dangerous place to be in. Because when you start judging your own judgment, what happens? What happens at the moment when you really need to make a decision? You start to stumble. Is that the best decision? Because I used to be extremely quick to make decisions, and at that moment, that now you have that break trust with your own judgment. Now it's like, is this the best decision? Maybe I'm supposed to sit for a day or two or a week to really consider to procrastinate on my decision. And the best way to really learn is this the best decision is to take action, execute. So again, so trusting your own judgment of your decisions is extremely important. And when betrayal is reducing that, that's a terrible place to be in. Number three, the ego would rather be right than free. It's interesting that sometimes we make a decision and we want to really stick to that decision. We say, yeah, that was a really good decision and I need to stick to that. And there's a sunk cost coming in and we stay much, much longer than we're supposed to in that decision. And this is one of the things that we need to learn as well that in life, the most successful people always need to be the best quitters. The best quitters. And that means you need to quit on the things that is doesn't aligning with your life. And this shows the strength. Being able to say, like, I was totally wrong. My old version of me was such a jerk, potentially even, made mistakes, and I need to let it go. And the most successful people are the quitters. Quitters on the right things. And I know that I stayed too long. That again, that shows that I needed to develop the ability to really understand that there is more important things, and if I stay longer on the wrong thing, I'm not able to start developing the right thing. And again, the ego sometimes wants to be right and looks for evidence that you made the right choice, even though it's wrong. And it's interesting that sometimes we will look for evidence and we'll find it because there is no such a thing as 100% bad thing. There's no such a thing as 100% bad thing. That means that even though there's a 1%, 2%, 3%, you will find it. And it will be, oh, this is evidence, this is right. Even though that you see a couple trees, but you just miss the whole forest of negativity. And this again, sometimes people want to be right rather than free. Number four, you don't miss the person as much as you miss the version of yourself existed before the betrayal. It's an interesting thing that you miss not the past person potentially or business partner or experience, but you miss who you used to be before. Maybe you're a little bit more naive, maybe more joyous, maybe a little bit more certain way, maybe more confident, maybe more courageous, maybe more funny, maybe like there's so many things that we can really find attributes to the way how we showed up in life. And I was like, after this betrayal, I don't show up this way. I have a lot of I used to be in my life, but I don't want to say I used to be anymore. I want to really say that this is who I am, but not as like who you are. Oh, this is who I used to be. This is how I used to be. This is how I used to be. I ask not who you used to be. I ask you who you are. And it's interesting that I think that when you're really healing of betrayal of something, maybe it's a part of a journey, being able to really say that this is where I am. This is where I am. That I do not know yet who I am, but I know who I used to be, and who I used to be is the parts that I are really working towards to becoming again. So I used to be this, and I really enjoy that part, and I want to really become that part and develop that part within me again. And I think that's extremely important. And maybe this betrayal will say that I used to be this, and this, and I liked from those five, three, and then those two I will not recover, and then those three ones that I haven't liked it, I will take it back. And this is, I think, that's a legit place to be in for a very short period of time, for a season. If this pain becomes your identity, you will unconsciously protect it. And that means, like, again, I was listening quite a few seminars that people love to attach to some, I'm a survival. And if you are survival, your expectations is to survive everything in your life. A new career, I need to survive it. New relations, I need to survive it. But we need to really develop identity, not that is actually sound terrible. You survived again. Let's go. That's great, but it's not who you are. This is just your experience. You survived, and you're not survival, and that's a huge difference. You survived terrible relation. You survived terrible experience. You survived adversity, but you're not survival, and then that means that we need to develop understanding. We need to really build identity of a striver, of successful person who really is a kind, who is generous, who is a learner. Those are things we need to really develop, not survival, because that's we could attach in our decision making process. It could be based on survival rather than striving. Number six, and the last one is strength is not becoming impossible to hurt. Strength is not becoming impossible to hurt, and that's partly of building walls up, because the real strength is remain capable of love without becoming naive. Because I shared, I started today's topic about discernment. That means that discernment needs to be the topic when you really start to really say that I'm open for love, for relationships, for business partners, for all the things that potentially came from bad decision making process. And say that rather than say I will never make this decision again, say that I will make this decision, but now I will include discernment. I experience, I know this like act is how important it is. And because I have this discernment in my life now, I'm able to really be even more open than before. Rather than more closed, more open. I really explore and I really say like, let come in my life. Show who you truly are. Show your colors. I'm not afraid of your colors. I know that every single person has colors. I want to see those colors. I want to discern what kind of color is it. And maybe I like that color, maybe I don't. And if I don't like, I will walk away. If I like it, I will explore more. I will see if there is colors that I like or is colors that I don't like. Some colors, maybe I just cannot see. Maybe I'm how blinded. And I think that is again one thing is that we have some preferences regarding colors, and I think that regarding preference regarding the people that we work with and connect with, and I think that's extremely important to really develop discernment. And as a constantly, I think that that's a thing that just now I just thought about it is that when we really connect with anyone and being able to really develop the skill set of discerning who this person is, how much kindness, how much generosity, how much goodness are in them, how much things that needs to be developed, and how much willingness do they have to develop the things that they need to do. Because I think that I always say that one of the most important things, hands down, one of the most important things that a person could have is willingness to work on things. I truly believe that every single person is able to change to become the person that they want to be and could be. And everything starts from willingness. Are they willing to do the work? Some person will need more work, some person will need less work. But again, it's end up willingness if they will do the work. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that's part of the sermon, understanding how much willingness do they have to do the right thing. And of course, at this point, willingness, and sometimes we need to look into capacity because some things we will not be able to do. Just impossible. So if you are born 5 foot, probably will not be going an MBA. So there is some things, shortcomings in some careers or some paths, but I think in general, 90%, 95%, 99% of things is willingness. So I hope to reflect as well. This is an interesting topic, is discernment and bitterness. Have you ever become a little bit more bitter because of life adversity? Or did you try to develop discernment? Because I found myself in my mind sometimes like, would you like to become better in your life? My mind starts to always smile because such an interesting thing. Your mind is just communicating and asking questions if you will love to be a better because potentially when you look into the old experience that I went through the last 5 years, I could be bitter, and I would say that that's all legit. I earned and I deserve to be bitter, but this is not who I am, and I speak about it humbly because I think that it's a great thing to realize that mind sometimes wants to be bitter because sometimes wants to protect itself. Our ego is says that I feel vulnerable. Build walls around me so I don't need to feel this way. And that's again, we need to say that that's totally fine that you feel vulnerable. We need to really explore that vulnerability so we don't feel as exposed as you feel right now, and really build a discernment and really show that vulnerability that you have within with this discernment, not share to every single person, but with people that you already discern. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.